Hello, Lake Union family. Thank you so much for joining us. I am going to be talking with one of our pastors from the Illinois Conference today. Illinois is one of the states with the largest number of Ukrainians. 200,000 are the reports that are in the state. And so, as the humanitarian crisis continues to grow at the border, we wanted to hear from one of the pastors, Pastor Russ Drumil, who is pastor of one of the Russian churches there in the area, about what is going on. And so we want to welcome Pastor Russ. Thank you so much for joining us. So Pastor Russ, tell us about, where you are, kind of, where you're from, set it up in terms of how connected you are to this region.
Thank you, Debbie. It's my pleasure to see you guys, and thanks for inviting me to talk about the crisis around Ukraine. It's a personal tragedy for me, and because that's the place, that's the land where we all grew up. Unfortunately, these past 30 years, as the Soviet Union broke down, there's so many political things, and unfortunately now, like two friendly nations, I would say brotherly nations, now they're fighting. Even the families, like brothers and sisters, even sometimes it affects Christians, brothers and sisters, who take sides in these crises, and this is so unfortunate. So I was born in Moldova. My mom is Ukrainian, and I've spent many years, many days in Ukraine, and even until now, I have relatives there, uncles, aunts, cousins that I talk to, and I've talked several times now. It's day 8 as it goes. It's very tragic. It's so painful, and it's scared. People are afraid. I'm talking to pastors and friends, those who are living in like more safer territory, and they say we are afraid because we don't know what's ahead of us. And there is so many other issues. People, it was so unexpected. Nobody, even though there were talks about that, there were predictions about that, but still people just rejected to accept that it's even possible. So when it came, it's very personal to me, and for my brothers and sisters here in our church in Chicago area. So it's a Russian Ukrainian church, and most of the members of the church, they are from Ukraine, and they have their families, parents, brothers, sisters, children. Some of the families would still have their adult children and grandchildren over there, and it's very personal. It's very tragic. It's a disaster, even though we don't talk now about political issues. We just look at what's happening, just receiving the messages from friends, pictures,
What are they
videos
saying?
from
Yeah.
friends.
What are they saying, and what are the pictures showing?
I have friends in different regions of Ukraine, and some of them are real like in the middle of war, so very hot, places like Nikolaev. Well, now they're getting closer to Nikolaev. Kherson was really bad, Kharkov, and of course Kiev, the capital. Like we have the Adventist institution just close to Kiev, in Bucha. It's destroyed. Not the institution itself. It's kind of good, but the the houses and buildings, infrastructure around that little town. Well, middle-sized town. It's really bad. It's destroyed. It's you could imagine that these are the pictures from the movie, but it's not. It's a real story, and it's real pictures that people are sitting underground. People are sleeping on the subway stations, just being fearful that they could be hit, not purposely, but at the war, there's always a danger, that you can be hit. Even though they say, we're not hitting the civilians, but still we have families and we have people who were shot, not intentionally, right? Not intentionally, but still, you're just a victim. So people are afraid for their lives, for the lives of their loved ones. So they're hiding, they're fleeing.
Yeah.
Many people, unfortunately, most of the families of our members, of my friends, they are in the safety. So they moved over to the western parts of Ukraine, towards Poland, Romania, Slovakia,
Mm.
Hungary. So those who can leave, they're leaving, and it's a crisis. It's a crisis.
So, you mentioned a few times that it's personal, and a lot of your members are from the area or have connections. I mean,
Mhm.
you now have to pastor and give them hope. What are you saying? How can you minister, during this time?
Right. Well, for now, we can just cry with those who cry. We just pray with those who pray. We just show our compassion and just words of support and sympathy.
Mm.
So we had a prayer service, this past Sabbath, and it happened to be that it was my turn to be at the Hope Russian church, because I have another two churches that I go to, but I was there. We prayed for the whole time. People were crying. People were very emotional, and it's a time when I find it's not preaching, about about the fulfillment of the prophecies that help, but just being compassionate, just being there, just hugging them, just being close to them in silence, just praying over. And then of course we do pray every night. We have a Zoom call. We pray together, we talk, and I know many of them, they're helping, every way possible. They send money over to friends and family. They spread information like where to go, what kind of help is available. So everybody is on alert. Everybody is doing, everything they can. Like it's an amazing encouragement to see how people are, united, engaged, trying to help those who are in the most hard situation.
Yeah, and one of those things that, happened, how the communities pulling together was at Bolingbrook Hospital, where you were, to do a prayer. So tell us a little bit about that, and then we can watch a video clip in terms of what happened in Ukraine.
Right. It's so actually every Wednesday at 12 p.m. I do devotional and prayer live stream in Russian. And then I got a call just a day before from one of the chaplains from Bolingbrook hospitals, and he invited me to pray. They have a prayer chapel at that time. And I said, well, how I'm gonna do that? Because that's when we pray.
Mm.
And then I said, well, that's actually a good opportunity to show people, to show Ukrainians and everybody who was who cared, that it's not just those who are related to Ukraine, not just Ukrainians and Russian speaking, but even people who don't have like direct connection with those, and that they also cared, that they also pray and support people in Ukraine. So my wife actually was here in this studio, so she was doing that devotional and prayer live stream, and I just connected from the hospital, showing people and just showing how others also pray for them, and they love them and they support them, and trying to help every way possible. And then after that, I got a call from one of the directors of the spiritual support, from the hospital, that they are collecting a medical aid, and they're going to ship that over to Poland and Ukraine, where the refugees, where this help is needed. So that was so powerful, to see and to show them there's people all over here, that are, very
Who care?
supportive.
Yes, 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 yes. So maybe we can wrap up the interview by you telling us in terms of how we can help, those who are watching this broadcast? What are the ways that, we can help?
Well, one of the ways, is to support them financially. Of course, we pray and we do everything we can. I just talked to a representative from a local conference where it's quiet. So western, it's Lviv, western part of Ukraine, and he told me since the churches are closed, they are not receiving donations and the offerings and tithes, and he says, I'm not sure how we will be able to pay the salary to our pastors, because it's really bad and it's really tough. And the pastors right now, they work as a taxi driver, so they drive people from other regions, to safer places. They organize kitchens. They get all of the kind of work, to help people, to get them settled, to feed them, to get necessary supplies, medicals, blankets, all this kind of stuff. So most of the pastors took their families out of country, so which is Poland, Romania, Slovakia, other countries, but they returned because no man can leave. From 18 to 60 years old, no man can leave Ukraine. So they all returned to their places, to their churches, and now they're helping, to move people if they need, to leave the territory, or they're helping, with the essentials, just accepting the refugees in the churches, in the houses, everywhere possible. They're accepting, and it's hundreds of thousands refugees. Well, now they say it's close to 1 million that left Ukraine, and there's so many inside, that are fleeing to the west, to safer regions and areas of Ukraine. So yeah, our Russian-speaking church, our Russian-Ukrainian church is collecting donations. So maybe we can just leave the link, below this video if you want to support. So this money will go directly to our volunteer groups, to pastors and church groups that are locally supporting, the refugees and those who need shelter and other necessities.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, we will get that link from you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And God bless you. And we'll be in touch as we go through this, but we'll be also praying for
Amen.
you
Amen.
and for your members. So thank you.